Camron, leaving Sirius XM, just got done with the Max B interview. Max B had the NY streets flooded. Jimmy acting like he can't see the water rising.
Me and these niggas go back like 40 years.
When you hear that you definitely didn't come home, what's the energy? Because I'm going to keep it 100. Yo, Kill, I got to talk to the governor in Jersey.
Yeah,
once I speak to the mayor and these brothers we got coming up.
It was, like I said, you just got to switch the mindset.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Max B walked out of those prison doors and the whole city felt the shift instantly. But Jim Jones couldn't even pretend he was happy. He jumped online throwing shade, calling the celebration pointless and trying to paint Max B as some kind of failure, which is crazy, because this is the same Jim who was cheering when Mel came home. The switch-up is loud, and people noticed immediately. And then things took an even sharper turn. Max B sat down with Camron and Madalari, and Cam didn't hold back. He flat out said Jim is still nervous about Max B even after all these years.
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out, because I don't want to crash.
So now we need to break down what actually happened, why Jimmy is moving like this, and why Max B stepping back into the world has his whole foundation rattled again. Max B, Big Gavel, is one of those artists where the more you study his history, the clearer it becomes that he helped shape an entire era of New York rap without ever getting the full credit. His real name is Charlie Wingate, straight out of Harlem, and he rose up in the early to mid-2000s as part of Jim Jones's Bird Gang movement. But here's the thing, Max was never just another name in the crew. Not even close. He came with this loose, melodic sing-rap style that nobody else was touching at the time. A wavy, ahead-of-its-time energy. That half-sung, half-floating New York flavor that artists like A$AP Rocky would later push into the mainstream. Max was laying that blueprint long before it became trendy. Even people who weren't fans had to admit he brought something fresh to the city.
I ain't gonna lie, Max B really inspired my whole rapping career too. I feel like, not rapping career, but you see the way I'm making melodies.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that, because before I started rapping, I was singing Max B.
Max was dropping tapes nonstop, $1 Million Baby, the Public Domain series, Coke Wave with French Montana, and every one of them turned into a cult favorite. Even without major label push, he was the rapper other rappers quietly studied. But in 2006, just as his momentum was turning into something real, everything took a hard left. Max got caught up in a robbery situation that completely changed the direction of his life. Here's how that night unfolded. On September 22, 2006, Max B's ex-girlfriend, Gina Conway, told him about a man she'd just met, Alan J. Plowden, and how he was flashing serious money. Instead of brushing it off and staying focused on music, Max decided this was an opportunity. He sent his stepbrother, Kelvin Lowe, to run the robbery and told Gina to go with him. They headed to Plowden's room at a Holiday Inn in Fort Lee looking to hit a quick lick. Gina knocked, and another woman, Giselle Neve, opened the door. Giselle told them Plowden was asleep, and that's when Kelvin pulled out the gun and held her at gunpoint while Gina taped her up. The scene spiraled instantly. They tore through the room searching for the cash, flipping everything, but found nothing. So they woke Plowden, tied him up too, and demanded to know where the money was. He kept insisting there was nothing there. Kelvin then forced him to call his partner, David Taylor, and tell him to bring the money. But when Taylor arrived, he immediately struggled with Kelvin. Things escalated, the gun went off, and Taylor was fatally shot. After the chaos, Gina took Giselle's purse and grabbed $800 from Taylor's pockets, while Kelvin snatched his watch. That tiny amount, basically gas money and a couple of accessories, is what cost all of them their futures. The tragedy hits even harder when you look at it that way. Once they fled, Plowden told hotel staff what happened. When police arrived, they found him trying to hide $30,000, so he caught his own charges on the spot. A few days later, Gina was arrested and immediately told investigators everything: Max, Kelvin, the plan, every detail. Max and Kelvin were taken in soon after, and Max was hit with a $2 million bail.
Where his kids go? Where's daughter?
By 2009, Gina took a plea deal for manslaughter and armed robbery and agreed to testify, facing up to 18 years behind bars. Fast forward to May 2009, Max and Kelvin's trial officially began. On June 9, 2009, both were convicted on 9 of 11 charges, including felony murder. Max was sentenced to 75 years, while Kelvin received life plus 35 years. The very next day, Gina was handed a 15-year sentence. Max tried to fight back through an appeal, but in August 2012 it was rejected, solidifying his 75-year sentence. Then, in 2016, everything shifted once more when Max B's conviction was overturned after it was revealed that his original lawyer had a major conflict of interest.
No, I would never work for that cornball ass again. Me? I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more. Like, I look like a boss, I feel like a boss, I taste like a boss. Max Bigger Val. Get out of here, man. So Jim Jones, compare the names. Look, Max Bigger Val. Jim Jones. God, don't even add up. They're not they're not on my level, man.
His sentence was reduced to 20 years after he pled guilty to aggravated manslaughter, completely changing the trajectory of his future. By November, Max finally stepped out of prison after nearly 16 years. Friends and family were there to welcome him home, including his longtime collaborator, French Montana. French shared a video of him greeting Max outside the prison gates, captioning it, "Can't make this up. My brother really came home on my birthday. HLA and no more free you." The clip exploded online, but now we move straight into the drama, the tension between Max B and Jim Jones.
I'm gonna keep it tall. That's kind of how I missed out on Max B. I'm just being straight up honest. And Jim ended up signing him because Jim seen the vision, because Jim had an outside vision of Max. I grew up with Max. Charlie Rambo, play all day, joking all the time. So when he came to me and said he's gonna start rapping, I was like, yo, Charlie, stop playing. His exact words was killing him. Like, no, let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Max B, he wasn't Max B. His name was Charlie Rambo. He get out of jail. He come up to me, just word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what up? When you guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, y'all say you always just come. He said, yo, Flea, you know how to rap now. Let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
When Max first linked up with Bird Gang and Dipset, he wasn't just riding along. He was doing serious work behind the scenes, writing hooks, helping craft verses, and some even say he had a hand in major records like We Fly High.
Few things that I'm saying, but you don't know the slander, like when you got locked up, you don't know the slander that I get. Cam, how the you let it go this way? From the same, like, what the how to go, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, I ain't see the, yo, I ain't see this nigga be playing niggas in and out of jail all the time, man. I ain't see this shit was gonna happen. Niggas be ready to take my head off about this shit.
Yeah, cause you ain't a prophet.
Yeah.
They want you to be about prophet.
Yeah, listen, man. And I listen, I'm first tell you, I missed out and I didn't see it because you was too much of my nigga and I didn't see the vision. And sometimes what it is, not even talking about you, because you turned out to be something else.
You still got me in though.
Oh no,
You did everything in your. You was like, look, go see, bro.
Yeah, but listen, we boomerang. We here now. We ain't even gonna get into.
I'm just saying, like that's how.
Right.
Even you acknowledge, like, still, like, damn, I got Jaja, I got this, I got Rel, I got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You said, nah.
But this is where the drama really starts. According to Max, he never got the credit or the money he deserved. He claimed he was basically being used, putting in the work, helping shape the sound, while Jim was cashing in and Max walked away with next to nothing. We're talking big shows where Jones was pulling serious money, and Max was scraping by with just a few $100s for the effort he was putting in.
B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Ain't nothing feel better than living right.
But the situation wasn't just about money, it was about respect. Max said Jim never treated him as an equal, even though he carried a massive part of the creative weight behind the scenes. That constant disrespect eventually pushed Max to walk away from Bird Gang for good. After leaving, he linked up with French Montana, and together they started releasing music that openly pushed back at Jim Jones, showing fans who really built those hits. They weren't holding anything back. It was all out in the open. Jim, meanwhile, claimed he never tried to hurt Max B's earnings and that he was just following the lessons he learned from his own mentors. But what he conveniently didn't mention was that he never returned Max's publishing on his own. Max had to sue for it, and the court forced Jim to give it back. That alone says a lot. Camron has spoken about this as well. He has always stood with Max, pointing out that Jim has a pattern of trying to control people and take credit for work he didn't fully create. Cam admitted he had planned to sign Max before Bird Gang, but he didn't fully catch the vision early enough, and Jim swooped in. That decision changed Max's path entirely. Even so, Max and Cam kept their relationship intact. When Max came home, he sat down with Cam and Madalari for an interview. Interestingly, they didn't even mention Jim. The focus stayed on Harlem, Max's time in prison, and what he wants to build next. Despite the love and support surrounding him, Jim Jones couldn't hide his reaction. Instead of celebrating or showing growth, he went online throwing shade, calling the celebration pointless, and trying to downplay Max's role in Dipset's legacy. His response spoke volumes without him even realizing it. Max being free reignited conversations Jim never wanted public. Who wrote what, who carried the sound, who built the wave. And Jim knows it, his energy has been shaky from the start. Meanwhile, Max stayed focused. He didn't throw dirt or stir drama. He spoke about his life, his growth, and his vision for the future. That silence hit harder than any diss track could because it showed Max isn't dwelling on the past while Jim can't stop reacting to it. Fans noticed immediately. Old interviews, credits, and past drama resurfaced online, reminding everyone of Max's true contributions. Max being free means those discussions won't fade. He's moving forward, leveling up, and living his life, while Jim seems stuck in old patterns. Then Cam dropped the line that had the internet buzzing, claiming Jim is still scared of Max B after all these years. He said it straight, no jokes. Clips spread everywhere as fans dug up moments where Jim avoided questions or brushed off Max's name like it bothered him far more than he admitted. Back when Max started gaining real attention, Jim wasn't ready for someone from his own camp to shine so brightly. Now that Max is free, the pressure resurfaces. Max is calmer, sharper, and more focused, and that confidence shows every time he speaks. Jim tries to downplay it, but people see through the timing, the tone, and the subtle digs. Max being home forces the truth back into the spotlight. Who really created what, who deserved credit, and who was held back. When Camron, who was right there through it all, says Jim has been nervous around Max's name for years, it lands. Max isn't stirring drama, but his presence alone shifts the energy. While Max looks forward, Jim is still carrying the weight of the past. In a recent interview, when Mayo asked if he could finally let things go, Jim flatly said no, refusing to explain further. Fans reacted immediately. Some said Jim is still haunted by Max running on WorldStar years ago, dissing him non-stop and bringing up the hotel situation. Others argued that Jim's reaction comes because Max isn't right in front of him. If they faced each other, they could heal and move forward. The love is still there, but Jim is hurt, and he has to acknowledge the role he played in Max's pain. The debate rages because the story runs deep, far beyond what most fans realize. Max is focused on his next chapter, and while he isn't looking back, Jim's shadow from the past still lingers.